You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
What is going on, Isles fans? Matt O'Leary back with another post-game show here for Up the Turnpike. The Islanders win this one 5-4. What a weird game we got tonight. Mitch will be joining me shortly. He's on his way back from hockey, so he'll catch us. We have 9 goals to talk about, so I am not worried about rushing through this show before Mitch gets here. We have a lot to discuss, as discussed in the comments, rather, from Ryan127. He's hanging with us. He says, yikes, a win is a win. A win is a win, exactly. But a 5-4 win after you're up 5-1 in the third period. And this team just apparently does not like that third period of play. I don't get it. I'm going to get into the goals in a second. Don't worry. We'll go through. As I said, there's 9 of these puppies, so we got a lot to talk about. But it starts with they're down because their special team stinks, and then they rattle off 5 straight goals, rattle off 3 goals in the first, few minutes? How many? First 8 minutes of the third period. All the goals were within 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes of actual on-ice game time of each other. And then they allow 3 goals after that. And it's not like Ilya Sorokin was like letting everything through tonight, and that's why it's 5-4. No, he was coming up with some big saves early on in this game. Butch Goring's like, yeah, like Patrick Waugh should take his time out. The Islanders should be down 2 or 3 goals right now. But Ilya Sorokin was bailing him out. And then they couldn't have his back in the third period. It's frustrating, man. Ilya's got to be frustrated. Vegeta says, I'm surprised we didn't blow that lead. They did everything they could to blow that lead after getting a big win. It's crazy. Nick says, what a effing joke, an embarrassing end to this game. Even in a win, you're supposed to play for your goalie in games like this. Disheartening. Exactly. That was my point that I just wanted to toss out right there at the end of my little monologue here to get us started. How do you leave your goalie out to dry like that after he kept you in the game through the first, 50 minutes of this game? Ridiculous. Really frustrating. But anyway, let's get us started. We're going to start going through the goals. As I said, Mitch is going to join us at some point during the show. We'll get back into the comments. But in the first period, Connor Bedard scores on the power play. Islanders take a penalty. The first penalty was Dennis Cholowski cross-checking. It was a very obvious cross-check too, by the way. But let's pull it up. We'll take a look at this. Just, you want to talk about failed attempts to clear the zone? What the hell was Palmieri doing? And then you have like just a mess in front of Bedard. And look, you got to give credit to Connor Bedard. Clearly, 19 years old. He's a teenager. Extremely, extremely talented guy. Wicked shot. Ilya Sorokin seemed a little surprised that the shot was, came from there. But it starts really before the shot is even attempted, because the Islanders had essentially 3 attempts to get the puck out of the zone and couldn't. This one by Palmieri is egregious. I don't know what the hell happened there. This team just can't kill a penalty to save their lives. It's ridiculous. So the Islanders find themselves in a 1-0 hole, 16:47 into the period. Islanders didn't show much life at all, I thought, in that first period. If you go down and look at the shot total, 11-6. They, in every single period from the in every single period, all 3 of them, Islanders had 10 shots or less. It wasn't, they were able to convert on their limited chances. Clearly, 5 goals on 21 shots in the game, but it's not like they generated a whole lot. And Chicago was. They played a better second period and better first half of the third period, but I didn't like how the Islanders started at all. Butch Goring was very critical of them, talking about kind of just in general that they needed to wake up, and even mentioned, like I said, mentioned that Patrick Waugh might consider taking a timeout. He didn't, but it was, again, I would say a frustrating one to start it. We're going to go through some of these comments before I get into the second period. We'll get to the Bertuzzi goal, or not the goal, but the setup, rather. Bertuzzi made me feel look bad on that last minute. We'll get to that at the end. That was, what the hell was Scott Mayfield doing there? I'm sorry, I'll save it for that. But David's 100% right to bring that up. CJ Philip says Lou needs to go. I don't disagree. I guess I'm happy that the Islanders won this game. I like when my team wins rather than loses games. Although you could argue if they lose, maybe it will spark change. The good news for you, CJ, is we did a podcast. Our most recent podcast that we recorded and dropped yesterday was on GM candidates that both Mitch and I would be interested in. We each came up with 3. So if you're interested on that, sign up for the Patreon. We post clips from the podcast on the YouTube channel. But if you want the full podcast episodes, patreon.com/uptheturnpike. Andre says Islanders are on an 82-point pace, not a playoff team. If there was another 2 minutes left in this game, they would have blown it. Honestly, they may have. And this win doesn't change my opinion on this team not being a playoff team. I agree with Andre. I don't think they are a playoff team. The Blackhawks are horrible, and they let them right back in this game. Like the Doge says, felt like a loss. It didn't feel good at the end of it. It felt like they tainted what could have been a really nice night, even if it just ended 5-2. I would have liked to see them like completely shut it down in the third period, but even if it was 5-2, you feel good about it. You let them right back into it. It just gross. Anyway, all right, let's get back into this game here. We'll go to the second period now. We have 2 goals to talk about from this period. The first comes from Dennis Cholowski. So Islanders were on the power play. They don't score on said power play, but right as it expires, Dennis Cholowski scores his 3rd of the year, kind of just steps up and lets one rip right from the middle of the ice towards the blue line here. You'll see it get set up here. Holmstrom over to Cholowski. Boom. In the back of the net. He doesn't get a ton of ice time, and I don't think that Dennis Cholowski is a regular NHL defenseman. He's kind of plugged in because the Islanders are banged up on the blue line right now with Adam Pelech out. But something that he does is he's not afraid to jump in on the offensive side. And he does have a pretty good shot from the point or from the blue line in general. 3 goals on the season in limited playing time. Dennis Cholowski, I'll pull it up because I don't know off the top of my head how many games Dennis Cholowski has actually played in for the Islanders this year. I'm going to guess like 18. Oh, more than that. This was his 21st game, 3 goals, 8 points in 21 games. Impressive. For the offense. Like, again, is he a regular NHL defenseman that you want in your lineup every night? I would say no, but kind of reminds you of Sebastian Aho when he comes in limited time and could spark offense a little bit. Then Simon Holmstrom gets in on the fun. He scores his 8th goal of the season. On this one, kind of a sneaky shot. It was from way downtown here. Oh, I don't want to do this and get us demonetized here. Sorry. Apologize. I clicked the wrong thing. We'll pull up the goal monetizer, the goal visualization rather. Holmstrom with the puck down low. He'll end up passing it off, but he didn't pass it off. I apologize. This was Polak has it, and then Holmstrom comes along the boards, takes it, goes this way, walks it back, and just gets some space and rips it. Again, it's from pretty far out. I want to see if I can pause it right at the time where he shoots this puck, because you don't see a ton of goals scored from this area, which I guess is why the Blackhawks eventually ended up pulling their goalie. But he puts this shot on net, not as a slap shot, as essentially a wrist shot from way out. The Blackhawks gave him a lot of space, and he puts it in the back of the net, and the Islanders lead for the first time in the game. For Simon Holmstrom, I've liked that he's been a little bit more consistent of late. It was a big night for him. He ends up with 3 points on the night. And last year, he started off the year hot, had 7 goals pretty early on in the season, and then really slowed down. I believe finished with 11 on the season, but only had 4 in like the second half of the season, which is just not enough for someone who's going to be a regular. But he's good defensively. He did finish with 15 goals, 15 on the season. So I think he has a good chance to eclipse that 15 goal mark. Maybe he gets even closer to 20 goals on the season. 8 in 30 games. The Islanders have now played or it might be 31. I shouldn't have X'd out of that. That's my bad. Give me a second here. I pulled back Simon Holmstrom. It was 31. So 8 over 31 times 82. He's on pace for 21 goals. It'd be nice to see him hit that mark this year. He's getting some prime Josh Bailey comps. I hope he turns into prime Josh Bailey. Prime Josh Bailey was a very useful player for the Islanders. 18 points in 31 games is a pace of 8 points. Sign me up for that. If Simon Holmstrom gives you 21 goals and 48 points, I think you are absolutely taking it. Our guys here, let's go to him. Mitch, we'll add him to the show. Mitch, how's it going tonight, buddy?
I'm doing all right. What the hell happened? What the hell happened?
You missed a wild one, dude. So I've just talked about the Simon Holmstrom goal, which was the second, and we're closing out the second period here. But really, to fill you in, no show effort in the first, and they allow a goal to Connor Bedard on the power play because they had 3 failed clearing attempts. I'll fill you. I'll pull up the visualizer because the Kyle Palmieri one was fairly egregious, and I think you should see it because I had to witness it live, and we all did. So now you have to see it. He does not get this puck somehow. And then a wicked shot, by the way. Like, credit to Bedard. It was a really nice shot, but they had multiple attempts to clear it, and somehow Kyle Palmieri doesn't end up with that puck.
That's insane. One of our better players failing at the worst possible time. And yeah, you're down 1-0. Great. Come on. Unbelievable. But you bounce back, kind of.
Bounce back, rattle off 5 unanswered goals, and then completely melt down and spoil what was a really good. The stat line's not going to look good for Ilya Sorokin, but he kept them in this game for the first 50 minutes. And then the Islanders are like, we're just going to be dumbasses in our own end the remainder of the game because we have a 4-goal lead. And they almost let the Blackhawks come all the way back.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, because when I was getting off from hockey, the game ended. I looked at my phone, 5-2. All right. And deep into the third, right? Like,
yeah,
they only score the 2 next ones at 18:50. So I'm like, we're good here. And then I go to check my phone to let you know when I'm coming. And then I'm like, it's 5-4. What the hell happened? And it doesn't take me that long to get changed. What the freak happened? And then here we are, 5-4. That's not okay, man.
No, it's definitely not okay. And we'll pull up the visualizers so you see all the goals in the third period. But Islanders with a better effort in the second, still only 8 shots, but only allowed 5 for the Chicago Blackhawks. So they started to control play, and that continued into the start of the third period. Obviously didn't last for the whole thing, but we could start with Noah Dobson's goal here. Really nice backhand pass from Brock Nelson along the boards here. Sends in Dobson, who just rips one through.
Yeah. Well played by Dobson to see the hole there, right? So he sees that there's a lane opening up and he takes it. Good job by him. And then Soderblom probably needs to do a little bit better on that shot. Obviously, there's a lot missing from this 2D kind of visualization, but he's square to the shot. I guess 72 kind of, blinds him a little bit. But good job by Noah Dobson.
Yeah. And Butchie was giving him a little bit of a hard time. He was like, he was out way too far. He didn't like the angle that he took on that one, but goal is a goal. Islanders extend it to 3-1. And these goals came in a flurry, Mitch. First one, 5:39. Then at 6:36, Bo Horvat gets in on the fun here. He picks up his 8th goal, and he's starting to heat up a little bit.
Finally, freaking finally. He went 14 games without one. About time. And, it's just great stuff. Great stuff. Finding the seam there from Simon Holmstrom, who is putting on a show, right? So he's got 2 points in this game. Obviously, he doesn't get a third one. But Simon Holmstrom is...
I believe it was a 3-point night for Simon Holmstrom.
Was it? Did he get one earlier? He did on the Chalowski goal. Sorry, I missed that. So 3-point night for him. He's got 4 points in 4 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 games. That's pretty goddamn good, as you were saying earlier from Simon Holmstrom. We'll take the production we're getting from him. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And he's not the only one. JG Pajot got in with some of his assists as well in this game. So like to see that too.
Absolutely. And we're not done, right? Like a minute later, Siplikov gets on the board.
Siplikov gets in on the board too. And at this point, it looks like the Islanders are rolling, kind of just takes it. He's down low, doing his thing down low in front of the net. and just bangs it in.
I like how we have Noah Dobson taking a shot there, right? Noah Dobson throws it from the point. So obviously Siplikov is digging deep for that. Dobson sees he's getting a shot. It doesn't go on net, whatever. You're taking shots. You're forcing them to do something. So long as you're good enough to retrieve the puck and win your puck battles, you'll get more opportunities, which is exactly what happens on that play. They need to do that on the goddamn power play when you have a numerical goddamn advantage. For the love of everything that is holy, please do that on the power play.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice. And, that was at essentially the 8-minute mark of the period. So you got 12 minutes to go in this game, and then all hell breaks loose. So we'll start with TJ Brody getting a goal here. I forget which one this was. There was 9 goals in this game. So he's standing out at the point, kind of, wide open here. Lets one go from range. Yeah.
Doesn't look good. That doesn't look good for really Sorokin. It doesn't look like he's being blocked. It doesn't look like his vision is taken away here. Maybe Mayfield to an extent, but Mayfield's got to take 16. So, whatever he's doing, what he's supposed to do, that seems relatively harmless. Of course, I can't tell anything else. Maybe it goes off Mayfield or something like that. But they just kind of go at the end. We're good, guys. We're good. These are the Chicago Blackhawks, worst team in the league. We'll be fine. No, man, you can't take your foot off the gas. You cannot. And this is what happens. Not only do they get a little bit of confidence of that, they start building on it.
They do. We could not laugh because it's sad, and we have many more years of Scott Mayfield. But Tyler Bertuzzi put him in a blender on the last goal, which we'll eventually get to. But we have the first of the Tyler Bertuzzi goals to get to here.
Just alone.
This is it. I apologize. This is it. He forces an errant pass, and then Bertuzzi goes right in. Like Thomas Hickey and Butch Goring were livid. They were like, Sorokin has played well in this game. He's kept you in it, and you have this kind of a breakdown behind the net. He just adds a little bit of pressure to Scott Mayfield, forces just a ridiculous pass that is nowhere near Alex Romanov, and then they set it up, and it's an easy tap-in goal.
So I assume that's why I'm seeing a bunch of Mayfield-related stuff in the chat. Chad is saying Mayfield's been disappointing. Andre saying season started well, but he's fallen off. And then Ryan's like, how about a trade? Scott Mayfield for a bag of pucks. Not a good one from Scott Mayfield, obviously, today.
No, it wasn't. It was horrendous. And then Bertuzzi scores another one. Stop me if you heard this before, Mitch. A 6-on-5 goal for the opposing team.
Oh, God. Yeah, Mayfield again. He's posted up on a guy who's much smaller than him and clearly gets positioning on Mayfield. My gosh, Mayfield not looking good.
That's 2 in a minute span for Bertuzzi and Mayfield.
So we got a Patrick Waugh quote right now, and Andre is alluding to it here in the comments. I could probably bring up my screen here if I share that right here. So angry Patrick Waugh blasts Isles for how they ended the game. Says if he had been playing, he would have broken a stick, but Ilya is a gentleman. Stop competing in front of our own net. Said team didn't show respect to Sorokin.
Mitch, I'm glad he said it because I could not agree more on that. I felt awful for Sorokin. They stopped playing in front of him because that's exactly how I felt watching it. And I'm like, maybe I'm just too reactionary,
right?
But I'm glad that Patrick Waugh had the same. And he just stormed. I have the TV on behind me. He just stormed off the podium. He did not leave happily.
Good. Goddamn, finally, some vitriol, some juju, some hit Patrick Waugh being pissed off. We need that. You can't be up 5-2 and just friggin' ghost the end of the game and let your goalie hang to dry. Specifically, Scott Mayfield, right? Because we said it twice now. This is not, and Scott Mayfield is supposed to be a mentor in this position today, right? Because he's playing with Isaiah George. And Isaiah George cannot be learning from Scott Mayfield. And if he is, he's learning the wrong things. This is not okay. I hope he got blasted by the coach because that was an awful couple of minutes for Scott Mayfield, who's supposed to be one of our better defensive defensemen.
You would hope, but it was embarrassing how they ended the game. So I'm glad that Patrick Waugh did that because we've seen a lot more so in the losses, I guess, where Patty trying to take the positive and be like, well, we're doing our thing. If we stick to it, the wins will come. I'm glad in a game that they actually did win,
Mhm.
but something embarrassing happened to them that he called it and wasn't called him on it. It wasn't like, well, we scored 5 goals tonight. And we capitalized on our opportunities, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, F that. Like, we stopped playing in the third period because that's what it felt like watching it.
Yeah. Our man Bill. Oh my God, Scott Mayfield was bad. Color me shocked. What do you think of this from Chad? Do you bench Mayfield?
I don't know if they have the stones to do it. That'd be pretty sick, though. That would make me feel good about Patrick Waugh if they did it.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't disagree necessarily. It's just also then you got to put in Grant Hutton, and I don't know if that's any better.
Okay, well, hold on. What if Adam Pelech is skating with the team? What if Pelech comes in and Chalowski, who scored a goal, stays in tonight?
Yeah,
not that I love Chalowski, but I'd rather Chalowski than Hutton. I think.
Yeah, you lose the righty lefty thing, but you're right. That I don't think you can possibly put Scott Mayfield out there again. He might not be right, because he missed a couple of games from illness, and he might not be still 100%. But who do we play next? We play the Chicago Blackhawks. Then, yeah, done. You don't need to. Who cares? Look, Michael even saying, if you don't bench him, where is the accountability?
They're willing to use Pierre Engvall as the whipping boy who's on a long-term contract, the same amount of length that Mayfield is. So if you can do it with Engvall, you can certainly do it with Mayfield. I would hope, at least. It was really frustrating how that game ended. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but I'm really glad that Patrick Waugh said that. Yeah.
I just think with the amount of time we have between games, like they don't play until, what is it, Sunday? Yeah. They don't play tomorrow, which is the 13th. They play the 15th in Chicago. So they've got a while. Like David is saying, Sunday's game will say a lot. Maybe it ends up being a good thing it's against the same team. We've got a long time to wait between this and the next game. I think that they'll speak to Mayfield, tell him what he did wrong, take him to the cleaners, and then tell him, here's how you fix that. Go for it.
Yep.
Hopefully. Well, maybe not hopefully, but like that might be what they do. So don't be shocked if he's playing instead of for those of you thinking he should be benched.
Yeah, I think he should.
Yeah. Do you want to do the game? Because there's some more comments that we can get to. But
yeah, we'll do the game. We'll do our closing stats here, and then we'll go back to the comments to close. We'll look at the Islanders' time on ice. Leading the way for forwards tonight is
Bo Horvat.
Not a bad guess, but it's actually Brock Nelson by a pretty big chunk. 22 minutes, 50 seconds for Brock Nelson. The next closest, Kyle Palmieri at 19:07.
Yeah. How many? We had 3 power plays. They had 2 penalty kills, and Kyle's playing on both, apparently. So that makes sense, I suppose, when you think about it.
Yeah, those two did play a lot in those situations. So it does make sense. As for the least, you should get this one.
I assume it's Matt Martin.
8:44, so a little bit more than the 6 minutes and change he got against the Kings. But wanted to call out, usually we do ice times, but Simon Holmstrom and JG Pajot each with 3-point nights. That's good.
Friggin' love it. Yeah, Matt Martin, 8 minutes, 12 shifts, no shots, 1 block, 3 hits. Wow, what are you doing here? 1 takeaway. Great. I don't know. It's basically Michael Dalcoli, and it really is.
It is. I don't know why going through Matt Martin sparked this thought. I guess because they've been there forever. But you missed something very interesting in this game that has nothing to do with the actual game itself.
Okay.
But apparently Patrick Maroon's son is staying with the Baileys and playing hockey on Long Island. And the Baileys were at the game with Pat Maroon's son, and they interviewed the son during the game. And he's like, yeah, I love it here. This is like, they made me feel like home, the Baileys, it's been really good to me, this and that. They didn't have Josh on camera, so I don't know where he was or what he was doing, but they interviewed his wife, Meg.
He's going for the GM job. We talked about it on the show the other day, looking for an Islanders legend to take the reins. Ain't no one more elite than Bailey. Let's go.
Love it. Least amount of ice time tonight, Mitch, is who?
Oh, it's Matt Martin for forwards.
Oh, we didn't do defense yet. My bad. I apologize.
I assume it's Noah Dobson.
Noah Dobson with the most is correct at 22 minutes and 39 seconds. Pulak not far behind, 22-21. Romanov also 22-19. So they played 3 of their 6 a lot. The other 3 not so much is my hint.
Okay, I'm going to say it's Chalowski at the least amount of ice time.
It's Isaiah George again. He had more ice time than he did the last time, but 14:33 for him.
And no mistakes though, right? So
no, I thought he was fine. Honestly, he had a really good. He tied someone up on a good scoring opportunity on Chicago. I don't remember who it was on the Blackhawks, but that was a play that stood out to me. And I thought he looked much calmer than he did the last time out. He looked like a rookie for the first time. I thought.
Okay. So you step back to take a couple step forwards. That's all right. Let's go. Love it.
Love that. As for Ilya Sorokin, he's hit with an .867 save percentage, which is it's undeserving. Stop 26 of 30. Frustrating. It was Bedard. Thank you, Chad. George tied up Bedard.
Even better.
I don't remember what period it was, but on a grade A scoring chance. So that was good to see.
If those last 2 goals don't go in, so you still allow the TJ Brody one, is that what it was? Yeah. You still allow the TJ Brody one, fine, but you don't allow the 2 Bertuzzi goes. My God, you don't allow the 2 Bertuzzi goals. Sorokin ends with a 933.
That's more indicative of how he played.
Yeah,
like some nights someone has an 860 save percentage, and you're like, yeah, that tracks. Not tonight for Sorokin.
That was not an 860 night. That sucks. I feel bad for Sorokin.
Me too, because now the goals against takes a hit, the save percentage takes a hit, and his coach had his back. As a former goalie, I think he's someone who could say, we have the audio from it.
Okay,
pull up the audio here.
Yeah, I want to sound how mad he sounds.
Okay, give me a second. I'm fairly certain it's going to come through. Shout out to our guy Rob Taub who clipped it.
Oh, he looks pissed already.
Yeah, here we go.
Obviously, you get out to a 5-1 lead. Some of the guys were a little disappointed at the end, but do you look at it more as you get the points, you move on, and that's good enough?
Part of it. It's a win is a win, and we played to win games. But I guess times has changed, because in my days, if my team would have done that to me, I will break a stick in that room. I'll be very upset to see my team playing like this in front of me. Ilya is a gentleman. He's a first-class person. So, but that was unacceptable. We didn't compete. We didn't battle in front of the net in the last 8 minutes. That's unacceptable. We talked about it this morning to be stronger. Our goalie deserves more respect than this from ourselves. But
wow.
Yeah.
It was even better hearing it from the horse's mouth.
Oh, he is mad, and he's holding back. You can tell he is holding back.
I'm going to have to play the audio again. Just look at him listening to the question.
I want a pound of flesh. Let me find someone to tear a new asshole. Oh my God.
Poor Andrew Gross, man. He's always the one who's got to be tossing up these questions that Patrick Waugh has got to rip into.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. But no, I'm glad he's asking the question, because he obviously he's like, are you trying to do you want to just be positive about this? He's looking for that kind of reaction, and good for him for doing so, because we need to hear that. We definitely need to hear that. And I felt good. Oh, ça fait du bien. Ça fait du bien au moral, ça, as we would say in French.
Okay, what's that?
Just it's good for the morals type of thing.
Okay,
good for the soul. It felt good for the soul deep down to hear Patrick Roy say that.
It did. It felt like, because every Islander fan watching that tonight felt the exact same way. So it's good to hear the honesty from the coach. If he said that to the media, I can only imagine what he said in the room after.
Oh yeah, he broke his stick. Definitely broke his stick. He took Ilya's and smashed it.
Because Ilya's a gentleman. That was what a line.
I love it. I friggin' love it. Oh man. All right, do you want to go cut through some of these there? What's final
run
tally?
Through some of these. Yeah, let's run through some chats here. Go ahead.
All right, I love this. Timothy Foley, 51-year Islander fan here. Just found the channel. Glad to see what other fans are saying. Welcome aboard, Foley. Click the subscribe button if you have not. It helps us out big time. Even if you're not watching, PS, just hit watch all videos and leave your computer running all day. That'll help us out immensely.
Leave a like, tell a friend.
Yeah, all that stuff. Mayfield catching heat here. Doge is saying, will they ever play Hoiberg?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Unless unless Sorokin is injured, probably not. He's saying Easkin's kind of surprised they didn't play Hoiberg in LA or versus LA. They don't have a back-to-back coming up they have one on December 28th and 29th, but by then Varley might be okay. Might be.
You'd hope so. They have a little bit of a break coming up on I believe it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Saturday. So a pretty big gap from Tuesday to the next game.
Yeah. And then there's no games
Christmas
between December
break.
23rd and 28th. So another 5-day break there.
They may need that to get healthy a little bit.
Yeah. Chad continuing the chat on Scott Mayfield, bench or no bench. Or is this Trotz hockey where we only punish rookies and Pierre Engvall specifically?
Yeah. Like I said, if they could do it to Pierre Engvall, they should be able to do it to Scott Mayfield also.
Exactly. Same kind of thing. Just he's been here a little bit longer. Just means we know the mistakes all too well. Joe saying, are you guys happy for the W? Like Patrick Roy said, to a degree, yes, but to a degree, no as well. Happy with the W, not happy how we ended up with the W. Really backed into that one for sure.
Yeah, they did back into it.
Yeah. Andre says, guys, there is a serious accountability problem with this team. Starts with Lou, who doesn't seem to give up. Beep.
No, it doesn't. He is, or Lou doesn't seem to give a shit, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
sorry, I was listening as you were saying. I was thinking that Patrick Waugh doesn't give a shit about Lou's opinion. Is just gonna like say whatever because he's kind of done that in the post games,
right?
But yeah, I wonder what Lou's gonna do here. I really do.
Yeah. So let's go to the beginning. I don't know which one you've already looked at here. Have you gone all the way back?
I did a few in the beginning as well, so we probably hit on most of those.
Okay, I don't know where you left off, but that's quite all right. I kind of felt the same way as really recaps. What happened? I took a 5-minute drive, and they're now almost losing the game.
Exactly.
Thanks to Mayfield doing Mayfield things, basically. Here's one from Michael. How can management watch these games and not make changes?
Yeah, that's one that I didn't get to, but is a valid question and one that, I mean, you have to answer it at some point, right? Like this trade deadline is your grade A opportunity. I know we probably sound like broken records every post game show, win or loss. We come on, we talk about it, but you have a chance to fix things. We're not saying blow it up and be horrible. We're saying fix it. Now's your chance to fix it.
Yeah, I don't want to be too reactionary of like, if they don't do something tomorrow, God damn it, they're not doing anything. I obviously Lou's trying to do something. I want to see what that something is going to be. He's going to do something. It's what is it? And then I will weight my criticism on what his reaction is. Is it he does nothing? Does he panic buy? Or does he start selling and selling poorly or selling well? Like he's got to do something to change this. It's just, what is that going to be? And when is that going to happen? I mean, no rush because panic sale or panic purchase is not going to change anything right now, but something is coming. It's just when and what. Can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah.
Nice to see the puck go in for once. P.S. Liverpool Football Club. Let's friggin' go. Love it. You never walk alone. Yeah, I feel for Sorokin. Kind of the same sentiment here from Nick. I hope Roy rips them a new one. Apparently he did. And throw some shade at them. This is at 10:15. This is almost half an hour ago. And in post game for leaving Sorokin out to dry at the end of his game. He did exactly that, Nick. You got your wish. Love it.
Yep. Nick, that's basically what so before I got into the goals, I opened the show with a little bit of a monologue, and that was basically what I was saying is they score 5 unanswered and then completely melt down. And Sorokin, as I said, for the first 50 minutes of this game, Sorokin was the reason why they were in it, because they played like hot garbage through the first 2 periods before they got hot at the end and scored 3 goals. And then they just said, we're good, and stopped trying.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not okay. And kind of like the same thing here from Leftlock, disheartening win. But I was kind of joking. I was going to joke about we're the best team ever and Holmstrom's better than McDavid. But damn, man, until we let things, fall off. Unbelievable.
They did.
Barzal and Duclair can't come back soon enough.
Yeah, it would be nice to see those 2 guys enter the lineup and some passengers take a seat.
Yeah. And then more on no accountability for Kimbus. The problem is that we have good players that don't work well together. There's something to that.
They have some good players.
Someone get Lou to like and subscribe.
Yes,
Because
give a like, Lou. Subscribe, Lou. Turn post notifications on. The whole thing.
yeah, we got ideas, buddy. There's no way he can believe in this core. What I wanted to get was last year it was Riley and Bertuzzo when we were hurt. This year, nothing. Maybe he didn't want to go down that road again.
Yeah, maybe he
it
didn't
didn't
want
really
to
work.
sell off assets with where the team was. Not that, like, I don't know, what was it, a 7th round pick for Robert Bertuzzo and Riley was a waiver wire find?
Yeah, I guess
I don't know if like that bringing in someone the level of Riley / Bortuzzo to step in for a little bit, I don't think is saving them.
Yeah, I think if Isaiah George hadn't stepped in and stepped up, then they would have done something like that. But until then, they don't have to. AMC's advertising Ghostbusters 2 as a holiday movie. Thoughts? I hate you. Michael's a Discord, a patron member, and he knows very well my dislike for the holiday season and holiday movies in general. If Ghostbusters 2 is a holiday movie, so is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings. And that's all I will watch the entire holiday season whenever someone asks me for a holiday movie.
Perfect. That's what we're watching.
If you want to watch Ghost, watch Matt Martin play.
That harsh, but very, very accurate.
We love Matt Martin, but it's just done. It's done, buddy. Love you. But I can't fault him for trying, right? Like he still wants to play and someone gave him a contract. All right.
He was the only one to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was going to be Long Island or nowhere. I don't think he was uprooting his family, especially with him having 2 on the way now.
Exactly. So there you go. That was it. Is there anything you want to add in before we jet out of here?
No, Ilya Sorokin's a gentleman. That's it.
Time to break some sticks.
Love it, guys. Thank you for hanging with us for the post game. Leave a like on the video before you go. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we'll catch you next time.